Hey everybody, welcome back to the show.
Howdy.
We are going to show you a really cool piece that has been many years in the making here.
Yes, 35 years in the making. We're going to show you a real samurai sword from the 1500s.
Oh, and so you've had the handle for a long time or the sword for a long time?
A sword is from a friend of the family. It was passed to him. He lived in Japan when he was a kid, and the sword was given to his father. And after his father passed away, this thing just sat in the house. And I ended up trading a suit of armor for it. And I had bought the handle pieces when I was a kid. They used to have a lot of antique shops here in Seattle back in the early 80s. And one was a place called the Bamboo Hut. It was actually on 3rd Avenue. Of course, it doesn't exist anymore. And when I was going to art school, I met a couple of guys. And we would go antique hunting almost every weekend. For years, we did this. And I ended up buying some handle pieces because I had a sword at the time that I wanted to get restored. And that never happened, so this sword is restored. And we're going to show it to you real quick. Okay, so here we go. Let's unwrap this. This is a short sword called a Wakizashi. Now, this sword was restored by my buddy, Brian Chernega. And he is the top expert sword restorer, if that's an actual thing, in the United States. So here's a sword here. So when I originally got it, I wish I would have had pictures of how deteriorated the handle and everything was. It was just falling apart. And Brian restored it all. See the other side here. And it's interesting because the handle pieces ended up matching this thing here called a kozuka. It's the exact same metal materials and school. So that was a piece of luck there. So let's open it up and check it out. Look at that, everybody. When I first saw this sword about 35 years ago, it was scratched and rusty. So I had to send it out for polish. And it was polished by a guy named Takio Seki. He's an expert polisher. He lives up in the greater Vancouver, BC area. Turn over on this side. And the sword is actually made by an artist named Kanemoto. And we're going to put his information. I found a PDF on him. He was a sword maker in the early 1500s. And his swords were legendary throughout Japan for their sharpness. So you're literally looking at the sharpest sword in the world. And let me stress this, I'm not an expert, I'm just an enthusiast. But my buddy Brian and Alfred are experts, and they identified this as a Kanemoto sword. So that's how we know this. The sword is not signed, the handle is not, you pop out this thing and you pull it apart. That's how Japanese swords work. We're not going to do this on the show today. But the sword is called Mu-mei, and mei means signature, and mu means nothingness. So it's a nothingness that's not signed. But we know that it's Kanemoto by the features of the sword. The type of steel, how it's layered, and the heat treating on the edge will give it away. Check that out, everybody. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.